What's up guys, welcome back to another behind the scenes vlog. We are working on the Miata. There's a weird issue that we discovered at the Rambler, which that video will hopefully come out around the same time as this. I don't know. Editing takes forever. All right, let me show you what's going on here. Lower control arm bolt is lower than the slot, which leads me to believe that the slot has cracked or broken and gotten ovalized out and needs to be repaired. So we're gonna pull the wheel off, pull the control arm out, and see what's going on down there. All right, we got the wheel off and the nuts off of these bolts, but I think there's too much pressure on them. They don't want to move. So we're gonna get the jack under here. So we definitely have some ovalization going on in there. It's possible that jumping the car has caused that hole to ovalize. We've got a ton of stuff to do today to get the car ready for Slush Festival, which is in 2 days, but I'm hoping to possibly take the car out for a test tomorrow. Let's see what we got. So first I got this control arm out. It was a huge pain, but it finally came out and found out it was a good thing I did because there's a crack right there. So this was one of the only ones that hasn't been replaced. I've replaced almost all of these. They're just too thin of metal. Next item on the list, our subframe. It was very ovalized. I don't know if you can tell. Yeah, you should be able to tell. The only thing I could come up with was to actually weld in these little spacer things. So we'll weld there and there. Hopefully that'll be good. I don't know. That's what I came up with. We'll see how that lasts. I mean, the alignment's so fricked on this thing anyway that it's not gonna make any difference. And hopefully it'll make it safer and not at least last for the rest of this year until we switch to the new car. You guys know I'm not the best welder, but we're gonna just give it a shot anyway. It's not like front control arms are important, or possibly the most important. One of those. I get those confused. The bushings do not like that at all. A grinder and paint makes you the welder you ain't, is pretty much the motto I live by. All right, we got everything welded up and it's looking half decent. I don't know why that can't be straight, but it is what it is. So now is the hard part of getting it back in. For some reason, it was such a mission to get it out. I'm very not excited to get this back in. All right, we got the control arm in there and it worked just fine. So that's a good sign. Now the hard part is this whole situation. This geometry was not set up for 10-inch coilovers, which is what we have. It's meant for 8, so everything just kind of has to be forced together. Which is probably why this thing ovalized in the first place. So I need to try and get the shock to compress a little bit. These are gas shocks, so we have to let some air out. And in theory, now that'll let me compress them. It's supposed to be nitrogen here. I've only ever filled it with air because where do you get nitrogen? Man, I do not remember how I installed these originally, which order of operations, because it sure does not seem like it wants to go on there. Success! We got it in there! And it wasn't even quite as hard as I imagined. It was still difficult. It still took, I don't know, 30 minutes or an hour. Next order of business. If you watched my 24 hours in the Miata video, you know the water temperature gauge broke, so we're gonna add a digital one. First step is to get the sensor, and in theory, it'll just go right there. As the rain starts coming down, I think we are ready to test the temp gauge. We got it all, so we're gonna mount it where the heating vent used to be. We haven't had a heater in there in a long time, so it's unnecessary. We got the red wire to the ignition, green wire to the plug out in front, the actual temp reader, and then we got the black. Hopefully this is a good enough ground right here. Let's go ahead and fire it up and see if it works. Hey, it turns on! 104, that's what it's supposed to say when it's nothing. Get it back all together and then we'll test if it actually tells the right temperature. But finally, I did something right. Our next task is changing the wheel bearing, which on Miatas, it comes as a whole like hub assembly. I don't think you can change just the bearing. Wow, that's not even a seal. Huh, that's not ideal. We gotta get this adapter off from the donks, but I just thought this was insane. Somehow, that turned into like tin foil. We got the adapter and the rotor and the brake caliper off. Now let's see if we can get This thing, I forgot, I need to... See, that's easy enough. That's why they make it one assembly. I just wish they made them higher quality. But this is $70. A high quality one is $500. So we got these. And so you have to really torque these down. The last time I put these on, I didn't torque it down enough. I think I just used like the regular ratchet, and it blew out the first day. So we're gonna give it all the ugga-duggas. It doesn't jiggle. That's probably been almost a year of having jiggly wheel bearings because, like I said, it just blew out the first time I did it, so I figured, what's the point? But then I learned I didn't torque it enough, so hopefully this one lasts. Sun is going down. Luckily, we are just about finished with everything I needed to do today. I got our regular wheels back on. I did not get a chance to work on this shock. It's leaking all the oil. That's for a later date. I don't know how important that is. The one we really messed up, I thought the alignment wasn't important. I don't know why I thought that, but it's really cambered now. I don't know if that's positive camber or negative camber. It's the wrong kind of camber, I know that. Also, somehow our toe got completely messed up as well. I had to take I took as much as I could. I took like half an inch and it's still duck-footed. So we're gonna take it for a spin and see if it's drivable like this, or I have to make a bunch of changes. All right, I did something right. I'm so happy for once. All right, we're out on a test drive through the neighborhood. The car doesn't feel real good, to be honest. It pulls to the left really hard. What else does it do? I mean, it's just all over the place. It's twitchy. I did like a second gear pull, and I was like wobbling all over the place. I don't know. The problem is I don't really know what to do at this point too.